Alrighty, welcome back. Today we are looking into the sensation of being tired and utterly tired, but at the same time being completely wired. So look at the guy here. He is clearly in distress. He's clearly forgotten to upkeep some of his duties and keeping things tidy on the table. There's multiple coffees, multiple drafts of some work he's up to. He looks absolutely fatigued. His nervous system has gone through hell. There's a bank up of chores around the place that needs to get done, and he's simply living in a freaking nightmare. Is this you? Do you constantly feel fatigued, but at the same time, you can't seem to relax your nervous system and body to get the adequate rest that you need at the end of the day? A lot of my colleagues in the chef world, they will come home after work, they'll pick up a bottle, a lot of them will used to pick up a bag and do the things that they do in order to feel that sense of soothe before they go to bed. A lot of them are also parents, so they're struggling in the parent circle, they're struggling in the professional circle, and that's really a recipe for disaster. And when I work with clients in rehabilitation, often they don't know how to get out of the loop. They're putting their hand up and saying, please rescue me, because I am so caught up in this cycle of the addiction to my emotional dramas through the workplace and the patterns that go on in there, but also to the substances that I use in order to bring myself back to a sense of centeredness. And then of course, if they're using stimulants, they find it so difficult to sleep. Now, you don't need to be someone who uses chemicals in order to get that looping pattern. You might just be someone who feels a lot, and your way of soothing might be movies all through the night, or other devices like tablets and mobile phones. You can just find yourself in the doom scrolling. That's a really key indicator that there's a pattern disrupt needed, and why that pattern is needed, because you'll eventually get to the place where this guy is, whereas he's like literally questioning his reason to live. So that sensation, absolutely chaos. I lived it for a long time, because in the chef world or in any high performance world, there is a serious amount of time that you need to take after you finish your hard work to come back to a sense of homeostasis, which is the technical term for just being in balance once again. You've started to recuperate, you've started to take up nutrients into your body that you can use to rebuild the tissues, the chemicals, all the different things that you need around your body, and we call that rest. Sleep is a huge component of that. And of course, in a high-powered modern world, sleep is often the first thing to go, because it gets in the way of our overall outcome and performance in our professional lives. This, unfortunately, especially as you get past 40 years of age, becomes super detrimental to how long you can live and also the quality of your life as you live it. It has been said that being underslept, especially with parents in the mix, because they are chronically underslept due to the nature of having kids waking them up constantly throughout those early years especially, is very similar to being intoxicated with alcohol. And that means if you're getting up in the morning, you've just had a crazy night feeling and thinking and maybe using some stuff, you might be waking up and having that drunkenness, which comes from having a really bad sleep the night before. I, for one, thought I was really good without sleep, and that allowed me to do my work during the day, come home, do study, and play with the kids in the morning, getting up early. But what I found as I got older, that was really a recipe for disaster. One thing that's really important to understand is that when you have the pattern of working really hard or having addictive patterns where you're thinking and you're feeling and your substance use starts to get out of hand, your body starts to understand that that is just how you live, and it will replicate it without you thinking about it, without you really making a decision. What's good to know about this kind of scenario is that if you trained your body to do that, then you can train it to be restful, to feel great, to feel happy, to feel content, to feel alive again. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Interesting facts, some known, maybe some unknown. When you have this long-standing sensation where you're using a lot of coffee or different substances through the night to get you through, to feel soothed and safe and healthy and happy again, it's actually has the opposite effect. So you can end up feeling quite tired, fatigued, but at the same token, your heart rate's elevated, your blood pressure's elevated. If you measure your HRV, that's not doing well. And things like breathing become labored, thinking become labored. You get yourself stuck in these emotional loops. Maybe someone annoys you at work and you just can't get that annoyance out of your mind. You always feel like you're on, so you might feel like you're on edge, and small things kind of irritate you very easily and you're a bit snappy and stuff like this. Another thing that might be interesting is that when you do have time off, you are still on edge and you are still feeling that onness, and being calm can actually feel quite strange. And that feeds back into the pattern of the familiarity of your behaviors. When you feel familiar with doing the things that you do, it feels normal. Simultaneously, when you do something outside that bracket of behaviors and thinking and feeling, it feels strange. And that's really an opposite paradigm to the one that you should be having. When you're at work, it should be about work. When you're at home, it should be about being at home and doing the things that you're supposed to do at home. And when it gets to a certain time of night, it might be 9, it might be 10, that's when you should be shutting down for the day and having a great 8 hours sleep. So once again, if you're going to address what's known and familiar, it's really helpful to understand not just how to solve it, because overlaying some great wellness tools over the top of the things that you're already doing is counterproductive. So it's really helpful for you if you take a piece of paper, a notepad, and just write down the things that you believe are contributing to the sensation of being tired and wired. I'm not saying give up everything that you do. What I am trying to say is identifying what's actually going on, whether it's harmful or helpful, is really key, because you might be missing some key indicators for what's got you into this situation in the first place. It might also elicit a bit of discomfort because it's not familiar to address what's going wrong in your life, and it might not be something you naturally are drawn to. But the reason I say this is because it is absolutely integral to understand your baseline activities, to know what you are doing, so you can figure out if some of those things are to be kept, some of those things are to be reduced, and if some of those things are to be completely rejected and left alone. Once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is start to implement a new system. And that new system starts with regulating the nervous system. And in fact, what I'm going to show you will really come in handy for when you're writing down that list of activities that could be contributing towards your tired and wired sensation. And what it is an extended exhale. The extended exhale tells your nervous system to calm down. And the reason for that is because when you breathe in for a portion and then breathe out for a longer portion, your heart rate starts to slow down. When your heart rate starts to slow down, through you signaling that it's safe, your nervous system learns a new idea, which is, oh, I don't need to be on all the time. Oh, I can actually calm down. Oh, I can actually rest. Now, like any skill, it does take practice. It's not a one-shot deal. You are going to have to do this on a repetitive basis. So what that might look like is you wake up in the morning and then you realize that your heart's racing, you're feeling irritable and things like that. That would indicate to me that you're a little more wide than you should be, and you might want to practice an extended exhale just so you can bring yourself back to a state of calm, so you can think and feel appropriately to get yourself in line with the activities that you've got to do. So the extended exhale, it's very, very simple. We're going to breathe in for about 4, and then you're going to breathe out for about 6. The effort level on the breathe in and out is to be about a 2 out of 10. So the tempo for that could look like this. Let's do it together right now. Are you ready? So get yourself nice and calm, get yourself centered. Seated is perfectly fine, but if you're listening to this on audio and you want to lie down and you'd like to do this for a period of minutes, which I totally recommend, then you can lie down. What you want to do is you want to breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then keep that rhythm going. And as you do so, begin to relax your body. So you might find as you're checking through your body, you find your jaw's a bit tight. Oh, I'm going to relax my jaw. Oh, my neck's a bit tight. I'm going to relax my neck. And run through the entire body and relax everything that you possibly can. This is something that you can do at any time, whether you're doing a breathwork exercise or not. And what that does is it gives your body and your nervous system the awareness that it is trying to get from you about the tension in your body, because it is really likely, if you are tired and if you are wired, that you are tensing up in your body as a compensation mechanism for the amount of stress, workload. When you do that, it is almost 100% likely that you're going to find some tension in your body that wasn't necessary to get the job done. Do the breathwork exercise for 5 minutes in the morning and see how you feel. If you don't feel any change at all, you might want to look at things like, am I breathing too quickly? So if you're breathing in really quickly and really out really quickly, you're actually going to jack your nervous system up. So you want to keep that tempo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 might be your baseline. What I like to do after a couple of rounds of that tempo is start to slow it down even further. And that might look more like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then continue. And then you might exhale something like this. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I just changed the tempo there a little. Why? Because the faster the count, the more intense your nervous system becomes. So we slow the count down gradually so that we can continue to breathe for longer. And that way it tells your nervous system that it can chill, calm down, and hopefully get to sleep. It's really important to be persistent. The reason for that is because your life is valuable. It's not just valuable to you, it's valuable to the people around you. And they may not express it, but just imagine a world where the things that you contribute to that ecosystem are no longer there. And I can promise you, people around you will feel that deficit. So if you're feeling like you don't deserve to feel good again, that you don't deserve to feel healthy and well, you don't deserve to be recovered, it's not true. You do deserve it. You were born into this world to have an amazing life, and you should have it. And for the cost of a few breaths, I think that's a really great return on your investment. So it says in the notes here to do it for 5 rounds and then take notice of what changes occurred. And you will notice a change, maybe not immediately, so give it some time. Instead of 5 rounds, which might last maybe 1 to 2 minutes, why not do it for 5 to 10 minutes? And if you're finding it difficult to find the time to do these kinds of things, use your calendar and your scheduler and your alarms to just build that into your system. Build that into your everyday life. If you can add at least 2 sets of this per day upon waking, if you're feeling that tired and wired feeling, but you prefer to bring things back to a sense of state of calm, then that's a perfect time to do it. And at the end of the day, when that tired and wired sensation has taken its toll and it's time to get to sleep, you should really allow yourself the opportunity to bring yourself back to that state of calm so that you can go to sleep without using alcohol and substances and potentially doom scrolling. Why that's so important, especially if you've got kids, is because they want the best of you. They want to know every little thing about you. They want to be in your lives. And what I've seen is that when people do this, they gain the admiration, the respect of the people around them, but they also feel a sense of worth that was lacking in their lives before. They might not have even anticipated how good this kind of practice could have been for them because they never thought that it was possible to feel any different. Another thing that's so present in the people that I work with is that they never realized truly how far in the hole they were because so many practices in our life are normalized. Like working 14 to 17 hour days, depending on what you do, working shift work overnight. These things, they will catch up with you and they are a chronic contributor to shortening of life, cardiovascular disease, inflammatory diseases of the brain, your dementias and things like that. They also just put a real dampener on the quality of your life while you're awake. They make you feel sluggish, they make you feel slow, but at the same time, you really feel hyped up. And it's so much less fulfilling to live a life like that. So what I'm saying is keep going, even though you might have some trepidation or some doubt as to whether or not this could actually help you. Because if it does help you, won't you be so happy to have felt the relief, to felt the absolute resolve, to feel the weight and the burden lift off your shoulders every single day, to know that you've solved a huge problem in your life. And that's what breath work and that's what breathing, modulating the nervous system in this way can truly do. So if you're really truly fed up like that bloke at the start of the slideshow, then I urge you to not take a second thought and dive into something like this. What I recommend to people that I work with who have serious afflictions, we're talking drug addiction, alcohol addiction, porn addiction, gambling addiction, and of course scrolling on their phones, is to do a great coherence breathwork journey in the morning. It is very much like the breathwork that you've learned here today. It's about 1 unit in and 2 units out. So it might be 4 in and 6 out. or 4 in and 8 out. But while they do that, they also focus on the center of their chest. And that's a whole nother mechanism that I'll leave to another video. But simultaneously, if you want to learn about this, you can connect directly with me. You can send me an email at hello@hamishyyoung.com.au. We can book a discovery call and I can discuss with you, specifically with your needs, your set of needs, how we can make a positive impact on your nervous system so that you can get that fruitfulness in your life and get away from those addictive, destructive patterns that have been plaguing you for probably quite some time now. Does that all make sense, guys? I really hope it does, because I want the best for you. The reason is because I've gone through stuff too, and doing these kinds of practices has led me to be more comfortable with who I am, to be better at thinking, to be better at speaking and talking about great ideas and transcending the model of how we live and how we feel, especially linking in with male emotions. You know, males are constantly thought of as being these emotionless, dramaless individuals who just have to put up and shut up and continue on with their day. But the reality is a lot of guys, they really feel some deep stuff and they don't know how to express it because they've never been taught, but they've also been taught that you're not supposed to talk about your feelings, let alone even have some. So what I'm saying to you is I'm opening up that space of vulnerability. So if you want to have someone to talk to and just ask a question about how this kind of exercise could really benefit your life, please feel free to drop in. It'll cost you the time it takes to email me, and it's completely free. Now this bloke here, this might be you. Now if you're a female, that's totally cool too. You might have the same afflictions, and there is no reason at all why you need to be fed up with this cycle. You should actually be someone who is able to feel how good it feels to be alive, not have to put up with cycles of addiction, burnout, fatigue, chronic overload. You deserve to feel great. So if you're seeing the screen now and you're seeing this bloke and you're feeling like, holy cow, I'm like that too, it doesn't have to be that way. And when you make that decision, when you make the decision to go, I am fed up and I'm going to do something about it, you are going to be one step closer to the person that you were always destined to be. And I know that sounds a bit up in the air, but think about it. Before people did something that changed their lives, they got themselves entrenched in a system that created maybe some chaos, some pain, and some problems. And they were stuck. And then they lost hope, and they lost the value that they had in themselves. They lost the understanding that they were a good person that had the capabilities of feeling great and living a great life. And I just want to remind you that it doesn't have to end here like it is for this gentleman. It doesn't have to be here like that. It can be a beautiful life through the breath and through all of the other allopathic medical avenues that you undertake. But this just might be a way for you to get some centeredness amongst the chaos. Because if you're waking up and you're feeling that panicky and you want to feel calm again, you can't just rush off to the doctor. You can't just go see the psych and have them calm you down every 5 minutes when you might be feeling not so good. This is a great way to utilize your fundamental skills as a human being that has a functional nervous system, but it's just dysfunctional at the moment. It's dysregulated and it just needs a little love and care that can come from you. And imagine the power that you will feel when you go, all right, I am fed up and I am going to take the plunge and I am going to do this breath twice a day. And I'm going to allow myself to feel good again. I'm going to allow myself the opportunity to feel like a human, the kind of human that I would be proud to feel like. When you do this, please connect with me and let me know that it's happened, because I want to share in the joys that you go through. Simultaneously, if you're struggling with getting the technique down and you're not quite pushing things into the direction that you'd like it to be, that's another opportunity there to reach out, because doing this kind of thing is very difficult if you're new. Doing this kind of thing can be difficult if you're new because you're not really certain of how to do it, how it should turn out, and that can be frustrating. So let's reduce the time that it takes for you to be good at this and increase your vitality sooner. Questions, comments in the comments section, please, and reach out via Hamish Young, hello@hamishyoung.com.au. I just wanted to take the time to let you know too, they've got a great coaching program coming up very soon this month. And for you to take part in that and get a year-long support with 3 sessions per week in a group setting, so you get the addition of community, I've left the link for that overview in the description. All right, guys, enjoy yourself. Enjoy the 4, 6, or 8, and I'll see you next time.